Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Roboto, back again with another quick trade review. So today's Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021, and the two trades that I'll talk about, well, surprisingly, are both Tesla calls trades that I took for wins today. And then in the very end, we'll talk a little bit and we'll reflect about, having the actual confidence to actually execute these trades, when my edge is present. A lot of traders that I talk to are telling me, they chart out the plays, they have their zones, but then in the heat of the moment, the price gets to their zone and they don't execute, right? So what's the difference between a trader that is like that and then a trader such as myself, who is able to execute on these trades? Well, we'll talk a little bit about that in the end. But for right now, let's go ahead and dive into these Tesla trades. All right. So this is the price action on Tesla, right? It's if we zoom out, it's nothing but bullish price action for at least the past 3 weeks, right? It just keeps going up, just keeps going up. Anytime it dips, the dips just keep getting eaten. Bulls keep buying up these dips, right? There's a trend line right here. Every time it gets close to this trend line, it gets bought up and they bring it right back up, right? So that gives me confidence in entering Tesla, right? And then, if we actually look at NQ also, NQ is doing the same thing, right? NQ is just having this gradual melt up price action. It just keeps going up and up and up. And the dips, they just continue to get eaten and it just keeps going higher. One day, it may be in the near future, maybe in the midterm future, the music is going to stop. We're going to have some sort of a pullback, that's going to be, more than just an intraday pullback. But until that day happens, right, I'm going to continue to trade the trend, which is for the most part, a very bullish price trend, right? So if we look at my pre-market plan for my Discord, I said here, November 3rd, NQ, the market is continuing this melt up mode. We have a 1600 psych on NQ, and I was going to use that to sort of gauge the strength of the sellers. Below that, there was this 15902 demand zone that we never got to. But for the most part, I was saying that it's really hard to be super bearish in this market as the dips continue to be eaten, right? So that was my mindset going into today's trading day, right? Well, that wasn't the case right at open. There was not really a trade that presented itself on Tesla. So if we zoom out a little bit, I have this 30-minute supply zone here. If I go to the 30-minute, there is this, there's this green basin candle that we sold off from last time. This formulated most of the supply that Tesla needed to get through today, right? Below that, I have a 45-minute demand zone right here. If we go to the 45-minute, there's a very clear 45-minute demand zone right here. I went ahead and used this red basin candle, and this formulated my demand zone. You can see it's been tested once and twice, and then today, almost right on the dot, it was tested again today. Well, let's go ahead and, in the morning, the Tesla rejected this 30-minute supply zone pretty strongly, right? So at this point, I'm not looking to enter long into Tesla anywhere in the middle of this range. You can see here that Tesla has been, sort of consolidating right here in this range for like the past, even all the way back here, right? There's this tight consolidation, very choppy price action in this range right here, right? That's where I don't necessarily want to enter Tesla as a trade. And I call this is what I call the novice space, right? If you're trading in this space, you're going to get chopped around, and usually it's the novices, the newer traders who are looking to enter positions in this area. Well, knowing that Tesla rejected this supply zone pretty strongly right in the morning, I'm not necessarily looking to play anywhere in this novice space. I was looking for a more extreme scenario. That's why I was eyeing this 45-minute demand. And then even, below this, there's also this demand, which, realistically probably wasn't going to get to today, right? But there's also this scenario. Well, anyways, there's no setup. There was no setup on Tesla, in the morning. None really up until about after I saw this this steep drop, right? This steep drop is when I started really eyeing Tesla, and I'll show you why. So if you go to the 15-minute, this is where you can really start to analyze the volume profile or the volume price action here, right? And you can really start to sense that there was some seller exhaustion at this point. Well, if you look at this 15-minute candle, look at this volume, right? Pretty large volume for this size candle, especially considering that right here it's almost the same size candle, right? But about half the size of the actual selling volume, right? So this tells me there's some seller exhaustion here. There's a lot of selling going on, but they're not able to bring the price down further, okay? So that's just the first sign of a VPA anomaly. Doesn't mean you go ahead and enter there, right? So, but then I see a secondary sign was this candle right about here. Okay, so you see this candle, it's much larger than any red candle that we're seeing today, but the volume on it is less than this candle that came previously. Okay, again, there's just more signs of seller exhaustion, sellers being absorbed at this point, right? And when I see two VPA anomalies right here, that's when I sort of get, I start to really focus in on this setup and to see if this is a viable trade or not. All right, so at this point, I'm starting to look for other confluences to, really execute on this trade with confidence, right? Well, what other confluences did I see at this point? Well, if you look at this right here, you connect these two lines, there's a potential trend line right here. And this is something I teach in my Discord, I look for where, potential trend lines to see if there's a place that, the price could potentially bounce. Well, there's another piece of confluence right here. This gave me confidence that the price could potentially bounce at this location. And then, of course, we have this 45-minute demand zone. That was my third piece of confluence, right? So right around 12:15 on my Discord, as you can see, I was actually looking to enter a swing in Tesla soon, right? So I took 1400 C's, a couple weeks out, and I had about a 1033 average on these calls. And I took those right about here. Well, the price started to really rip from there, and I went ahead and added some more to my position right here. And at this point, I'm looking to scale. My target was always this, right? This 30-minute supply. But I did know that I did want to scale right at this former support, right? So if the price got to here, I did want to take some scales at this point because a lot of times this former support acts as resistance, and if that resistance holds up and it goes down from here, I want to make sure I had some scales in there, right? So sure enough, I took scales here. There's another leg up on Tesla, so I went ahead and took another scale here, right? I ended up setting a stop, and my stop was right around where these first scales were, and I ended up getting stopped out right about here for my remaining shares. Still a really great trade, I mean, really, I could have just been done with trading after this trade today. I caught it right here, really right as it started going up at 12:15 is when I alerted my Discord. And as you can see here, 12:15 is right when it started going. Well, after that, I ended up taking one more trade in Tesla. At this point, after the FOMC meeting, or I guess during it, everything just started ripping up. Tesla was actually lagging. It was actually lagging, NQ. It was lagging a lot of other tech stocks. So, Tesla... anytime it starts lagging the indices and the indices are ripping, again, I get really interested in looking to play Tesla because oftentimes it catches up, okay? So when I saw this sort of price action right here, I went ahead and took some more calls right around here, and then sure enough, it just started ripping up. I scaled at this supply zone. I scaled, close to the top up here. I ended up setting a stop again, right around my first scales. And unfortunately, I got wicked out right here, right before it ripped up. And really, the premiums on the contracts really went up after this. So I was kind of disappointed. I got stopped out here, but again, still a very great trade for me. Two very good trades on Tesla for me. Well, so you know, I just wanted to reflect on having the confidence to take these sort of trades. Because a couple people DM'd me afterwards and they said, "Hey, I saw the same setup on Tesla, but I didn't take it." And for me, it's just sort of seeing these patterns play out over and over and over again, having the confidence in my zones and my supply and demand zones, and then seeing all the different pieces of confluence come together, and then just zooming out and seeing that Tesla is doing nothing but going up, and then QQQ is doing the same exact thing, doing nothing but going up. I put all of those together, and I have the confidence to enter these trades. And then the second most important part is you're trading at a size with proper risk management. That gives you, again, the the confidence to enter these trades, because you're risking something that you're willing to lose at this point, right? Well, if you want to know more about, how I'm taking these trades, how I'm drawing my zones, and, how am I getting the confidence to actually execute on these trades, there's always my private Discord. If you're interested in that, there's going to be a link in the description. And then this is the first time I'm announcing this, but I'm actually starting to take pre-orders on a supply and demand training video course that I'm putting together right now. It's going to go way beyond any of the basics that you're seeing on YouTube currently. It's going to be, talking about the stuff that no one else is talking about, and it just defines my edge in supply and demand trading. Because like I said, charting supply and demand is the easy part, but actually executing the trades is what no one talks about until now in this video course that I'm putting together. You browse the topics, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff here that I'm going to be talking about. Advanced zone drawing techniques, when and when not to use extended hours. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. I'll let you read that on your own time. I'm taking pre-orders on this if anyone is interested, and there are going to be limited spots on the pre-orders. All right, that's going to be at supplyanddemandzones.com. Again, there will be a link in the description. And if you learned anything in this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.